You ever notice how every time a Republican takes office, the Democrats start acting like it's the end of the world? I mean, the minute we cut taxes or trim the budget, they start screaming that the sky is falling. Now, don't get me wrong, I admire their consistency. If the stock market surges, they say it's just helping the rich. And if it crashes, they say, yep, that's what happens under Republican leadership. And don't even get me started on foreign policy. A Republican president could be shaking hands with world leaders and signing peace deals, and they'd say, it must be appeasement. But the minute there's tension overseas, they rush to the nearest camera like it's Black Friday saying, see, we told you the world would catch fire if he was in charge. Now, I've always said, it's fine to disagree on policy. That's democracy. But if your best shot at winning is hoping the American people lose, well, maybe you're in the wrong country.
Maybe you're in the wrong country. That was Ronald Reagan, a very wise man, a man who called it out just how it was back then. And back then, when he said those words, I was still a Democrat. Today, now that I'm not, and I look back on the things that he said about the Democrat Party, wow, how true it is. How true it is. Hypocrites. It is the biggest hypocritical organization on planet Earth. At least those up in Washington, D.C. We will talk more about the hypocrites of the Democrat Party up in Washington, D.C. But first, you had me in place you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. Thank you very, very much. Whether you're watching us tonight live on the YouTube channel, the Rumble channel, over at X, please like, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Also, check out DouglasDucote.com, where you can see other videos that are not available on any other platforms because I'd be censored and shut down. And also, we have a gift shop there where you can buy merchandise if you're interested in that. So that party that I once used to belong to, the Democrats, it seems that, and so many people don't get this, especially Democrats and liberals, they don't understand that the things that they're against Donald Trump doing, when a Democrat was president, they were all for it. When Democrats were in charge, they were all for this. But now that Trump's doing it, he's destroying the country. He's a threat to democracy. He's Hitler. He's a wannabe king. Well, why did you not say that when a Democrat was doing the exact same thing? But now that Trump's in office, that's why most of us look at you and we laugh. You can't be taken serious if you're a liberal or a liberal Democrat. Because we can pull up clip after clip after clip of Democrats doing the exact same thing that Trump's doing today, and yet they were for it when a Democrat did it, against it when Trump does it. For instance, well, let's look at a few things, shall we?
This statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Not a single Democrat stood. I think Fetterman did.
Not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Why were they for this when a Democrat was president, and against it with Trump doing it? I can show you clip after clip after clip of Democrats that were 100% for getting rid of the illegal aliens out of this country and securing our border and supporting police and the military. But Trump does the exact same thing. He's a threat to democracy. Doesn't make any sense, does it? It's called hypocrite.
Prices were high during the Biden administration. You all said that democracy was worth paying the price for the war in Ukraine. When prices were high in general during the Biden administration, you all said that corporations were just being greedy and they were raising the prices. But for some reason, when Trump's involved, it's all his fault. During COVID, you all told us to trust the science, get the shot, get the booster, listen to scientists, they know what they're talking about. But all of a sudden, you don't agree with science when you can't tell me the difference between a man and a woman. Apparently, Trump is a dictator. He makes all decisions on his own without listening to anybody. But you all said nothing when our previous president was clearly not making any decisions about anything. And none of you cared about the huge cover-up for the past 4 years. Trump trying to create peace in Iran is apparently a problem, but the previous administration giving billions of dollars of equipment to the Taliban, you all were completely silent. You all believe Trump is a king, but you were absolutely silent when Joe Biden stepped down for a second term, not realizing clearly he was pushed out, and Kamala Harris knew everything about Joe Biden's incompetency and said absolutely nothing.
It's called hypocrite. Hypocrisy 101. If a Democrat does it, it's okay. But if a Republican does it, it's the end of the fucking world. How about this?
Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
Our immigration policies are a shambles, plain and simple. And right now, our borders are amazingly porous to people who shouldn't be here, such as terrorists, drug smugglers, etc.
If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship. And we wonder, in this country, why we have an illegal immigration problem.
Unlawful immigration is not acceptable.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
You know, when you're dealing with hypocrites, when you're dealing with hypocrisy 101, it's like having a headache, and instead of taking Tylenol or aspirin, you try and beat it out with a fucking sledgehammer. The Democrat leadership in Washington, D.C. are hypocrites. Hankam Jeffries, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Cory Booker, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Jasmine Crockett, every one of them, when Democrats were in charge, the same things that Trump's doing now, they were for it. But Trump does it. Now that Republicans are in charge, and it's destroying everything. It's destroying our country. This is why the rest of society looks at liberals and liberal Democrats as jokes. Because you just keep spewing the same shit over and over again, but we know what was said in the past. Now, if we didn't have the internet, if we didn't have YouTube and Rumble and Facebook and all these social media platforms, we wouldn't be able to find this stuff to bring it back and put it in your face. But that's not the case right now, is it? So the next time you hear a liberal Democrat spewing crap about what Trump's doing, remind them about why was it okay when Democrats were in charge. And I'm talking about everything he's done since he took office. The Democrats were for it when Democrats were in charge. Everything Trump's done that the Democrats were for when Democrats were in charge today is a threat to democracy. Hypocrisy 101. And that's why we can't take you serious. And speaking of somebody that we can't take serious, President Donald Trump accused House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of inciting the most recent assassination attempt against him, further escalating his feud with the top Democrat. Gee, seems I've been saying that for years now. Trump argued in a Truth Social post on Thursday that Jeffries should be arrested after promoting warfare against Republicans just days before the assassination scare at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. This lunatic, Hakeem Low IQ Jeffries, should be charged with inciting violence, Trump wrote on social media. I've been saying that for a year now. He included images of Jeffries standing with a sign displaying the words maximum warfare and the faces of Trump and his aide, James Blair, alongside an image 3 days later of the alleged assassin, Cole Allen, storming the Secret Service checkpoint at the Washington Hilton. Should Hakeem Jeffries be charged with inciting violence? Trump's post asked his 12.6 million followers to ponder. The spokesperson for Jeffries told the media in a social media post where the top Democrat labeled Trump's comments as another deranged rant and dinged the president on affordability issues. Gas prices are sky high, grocery bills are surging, and families can't catch a break. Democrats are about to take back the House, and you're losing your mind. The online scrimmage came after Jeffries already defended his maximum warfare language aimed GOP backlash in late April. I don't give a damn about your criticism, he told Republicans. Jeffries also justified his decision to use the phrase when discussing the nationwide redistricting battle by arguing that anonymous White House staffer first deployed the phrase to threaten Democrats with GOP-friendly gerrymandering during the interview with the New York Times last year. Now, let me just remind liberal Democrats that every time Democrats have been in charge in the past, they did the exact same thing. And that's why you can't be taken serious. That phrase, maximum warfare anywhere, all the time, came from the White House in the summer of 2025 when they started this redistricting battle. And now they're big mad, Jeffries said in a news conference. Why? Because Democrats have decided to finish it. Get lost. Jeffries has constantly said that he opposes all forms of political violence while refusing to walk back his very language. He also told Fox News Sunday last month that lawmakers set the most appropriate example in their rhetoric when asked about the rise in political violence. Whatever your ideology or perspective is, we all love America. We all want to make sure that this country is the best it can possibly be, Jeffries said. Jeffries is a hypocrite. Jeffries should be charged with inciting violence. Jeffries should go to jail for what he's said, along with many others up there in D.C. Now, you're going to love this. You're just going to absolutely love this. Chicago suburbs expands cash handouts as race-based reparations program faces major legal battle. And somewhere, a taxpayer just crunched their wallet like it was left a life raft on a Titanic. The city of Evanston is using leftover COVID-era federal recovery funds to give 102 families $500 per month for 6 months. Because apparently nothing says pandemic recovery quite like a government version of Venmo. Critics say it's illegal, and it is. Supporters say it's compensation. Meanwhile, everyone else is checking their mailbox wondering, did I miss a coupon code? As cities across America continue experimenting with direct cash transfers, basically stimulus checks, the robot, Evanston officials announced the final round of the city's guaranteed income program this week. The expanded program will provide $500 monthly payments to 102 households over the next 6 months, using leftover federal pandemic funds. They should go to jail for that, like all the other people that are going to jail for that in cities across America, because you can't do that. And government returns is also known as, if we don't spend it, someone in Washington, D.C. might ask the questions. City officials described the initiative as a way to help households pay for essential things like food and daily expenses, because in 2026, grocery costs so much more, like buying eggs. Now feels like applying for a small business loan, they said. The program originally launched under the American Rescue Plan Act, which sounds less like a federal law and more like a Wi-Fi network at the government conference. Under federal law, the money has to be committed by the end of 2024 and spent by the end of 2026. Translation, quick, spend it before someone notices that there's still money left over. Make sure every last dollar leaves town faster than a teenager after graduation. Evanston officials voted to expand eligibility. The program, once limited to families with children in certain census tracts, is now open to Black residents citywide, Black adults 55 and older, and Black households earning at or below 185% of federal poverty level. So basically, if you live in Evanston and can fog a mirror, there's probably an application waiting for you. Not everyone in City Hall sounded thrilled about this. Allison Lipsler, the city policy and intergovernment affairs manager, warned that opening applications to everybody could become a logistic nightmare. We have a lot of spam, she said. Apparently even bots need grocery money now, don't they? She added that opening the program citywide is nothing where we've ever dealt with before, which is also what most IT departments say 5 minutes after the server crashes. Evanston is now one of more than 100 U.S. cities experimenting with the no strings attached cash programs since 2018. In other words, the government discovered that handing people money and widely popular, shocking absolutely no one, nearby county, Cook County, is becoming a major hub for guaranteed income programs as well. County officials recently proposed making their promise program permanent with $7.5 million in the 2026 budget. Because if there's one thing governments love more than temporary programs, it's temporary programs that accidentally become permanent. At the same time, Evanston's controversial reparations program continues expanding while battling a major lawsuit in federal court. In February, the city's reparations committee announced another 44 residents would receive $25,000 in payments. At this point, people hearing 25,000 are suddenly discovering a deep interest in genealogy websites. Turns out my great uncle lived there in 1947. Checking Ancestry.com. I did my ancestry. I got 1% African American in me. Can I move up there and get a $25,000 check? City has now issued payments to at least 193 individuals, plus a total of $10 million over the next decade. Where do you think it's going to be spent? Reparations incentive is the first of its kind in America. It's aimed at Black residents or descendants of Black residents who lived in Evanston between 1919 and 1969, during decades marked by housing discrimination and redlining. But the program is now facing a serious legal fight. In March of 2026, U.S. District Judge John Keynes denied the city's request to dismiss a class action lawsuit brought by Judicial Watch. The lawsuit argues the race-based eligibility rules violate the equal protection clause of the 14th Amendment. Remember, Democrats, Congress, remember, the United States Constitution that you all claim you know all about? In other words, the case is headed towards what could become one of the most closely watched courtroom battles over reparations in the country, where lawyers will bill approximately $500 an hour to argue about giving away $500 a month. And what in the world are the Black youth in Chicago going to spend it on? Think they're going to spend it on food, back child support, Pampers, baby formula, anything productive? Call it like I see it. And what I see is a fucking mess up in Chicago. Now, there are some people in this country that need to just be rounded up and sent out like yesterday. And this is one of them. Yep. That woman right there. She's a Washington City Councilwoman. Said she'd rather fly a pride flag than the American flag, while questioning why a local park displays 27 versions of the U.S. flag, some of which, she said, represents parts of American history that are not great. To me, a pride flag is way more relatable than an American flag. I would not raise an American flag in my house. I wasn't even born here, she said. Then your ass needs to be deported. But I would raise a pride flag, said Linwood Council member Isabel Mata. As the most diverse city in all of Sonoma County, I don't think I'm the only one. Mata, who identifies as a queer, neurodivergent writer, advocate, and mindfulness meditation teacher in her government biography, suggests replacing the flag with common ones, commemorating ones, in an effort to be more exclusive while downplaying the symbolism of the American flag. Mata has since walked back her statements after being questioned by the media. She was speaking personally as a queer woman about what the pride flag means to me. At the heart of the argument is Wilcox Park, known as Flag Park, which features 27 flagpoles displaying various versions of the American flag. This community is filled with so many culture and diverse backgrounds and all these things, yet we have 27 irritations of the same flag some representing parts of American history that frankly are not great, she said. Listen up, you fucking idiot. If you don't keep teaching about history to the youth, you try to erase history, history will repeat itself. Comment set off an outpour of critics' reaction on social media as clips of her remarks spread like wildfire online this week. Linwood, Washington City Councilwoman Isabel Mata says the LGBTQ flag is more relatable than the American flag, and she would never fly an American flag. Popular conservative X account Libs of TikTok posted, "I wasn't even born here." Then shut up. Fox News contributor and New York Post columnist Miranda Devine posted. Others posted, "Washington cooked. Wow." Or asked, "If you hate America that much, then why are you still here?" Good question. City council member. One day she's probably going to be a Democrat member of Congress. And she hates the American flag. She's not alone. There's a whole bunch of Democrats that feel the same way, sadly. And liberals? Oh boy, they hate that flag. That's racist right there, buddy. Oh yeah, let me tell you. A powerful Virginia Democrat lawmaker who's made many online jabs at President Donald Trump that no one is above the law. Well, those comments are coming back to haunt her after her office and business that she co-owns was raided by the FBI yesterday. State Senator L. Louise Lucas, a major power broker in Virginia, politics and ally of Democratic Governor Abigail Spanberger, is known for hot takes, often laced with vulgar language that she frequently posts on social media. She once posted that then former President Donald Trump just learned no one is above the law. Now her post is garnering new attention following the news of the FBI raids. Popular conservative account Libs of TikTok posted, "Louise Lucas just learned no one is above the law." Caroline Warren, a political operative and former Trump fundraiser, referenced another post that the senator made, in which the Democrat wrote, "I want to see voters showing the kind of overwhelming numbers at the polls that the FBI showed today at Mar-a-Lago," back when it was raided by the FBI. This aged well, didn't it, Lucas? Her office and weed dispensary business was raided Wednesday as part of a court-authorized federal corruption and illegal marijuana cell probe. That's right. That senator of Virginia was selling pot. Federal law enforcement officers said in their released statements. In total, 10 locations associated with her were raided by the FBI. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. This too drew mockery from Lucas's critics, who pointed to her 10-1 slogan, referring to Virginia's recently passed redistricting map that favors Democrats in 10 of the state's congressional districts, likely leaving only one Republican district. Former Virginia legislator Nick Frederick posted at Senator Lucas, 10-1 FBI. How about 10 life? Arlington County GOP Chair Matthew Hurt posted on X. Lewis asked a Fox News reporter else the FBI was raided apparently 10 locations. There's a 10-1 joke in there somewhere. Talk radio host Eric Eckerson, meanwhile, predicted that no wagons will be circled for Lewis because the VA or Virginia Dems have known for a while that she is a loser and corrupt. Talks out the side of her ass. No one's above the law. Always going after Donald Trump. And turns out she's doing all kinds of illegal, corrupt shit. Oh, that kind of goes with the theme of tonight's show. Hypocrisy 101. Yep. What a great woman right there. Look at her. You can go on social media all over the place and listen to her rants against Trump. And now her black ass is in a sling. Oh, how many of you like Star Wars? I know growing up as a kid, I was a big Star Wars fan. If you followed Star Wars, you know exactly who that is. Star Wars actor Mark Hamill posted a photo depicting Trump dead, laying in a coffin that was AI made just days after the latest assassination attempt. Star Wars actor captioned the photo, "If only," and said the president should be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption. He should live long enough to witness his devastating loss at the midterms, be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption, impeached, convicted, and humiliated for his countless crimes, long enough to realize he'll be disgraced in the history books. Hamill posted. Cole Allen, the man accused of attempting to assassinate Trump at the dinner, was charged with attempting to assassinate the President of the United States, discharging a firearm during a crime of violence, and transporting a firearm across state lines, in addition to assaulting a federal police officer with a deadly weapon. And he's going to be going away for a long, long time. Hamill also recently appeared in a video alongside former President Barack Obama to mark Star Wars Day on May 4th, as well as the opening of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Barack Hussein Obama just appeared in a video with this deranged lunatic just 3 days ago. Now, the same person is calling for President Trump to die. Why won't Obama and Democrats condemn this disgusting call to violence? I know. Say it with me. Hypocrites. White House spokesman Davis Engel said in a statement, Hamill is a frequent critic of the president. He said during an interview in 2025 that he was really ashamed America elected Trump. It's one thing for him to have sneaked by the first time when he got reelected. That's on us, Hamilton said on the WTF with Mark Maron podcast in September. That's what I'm really ashamed of, because I always thought there are more decent Americans, honest Americans, than there are others. Hamilton said he was proven wrong in believing there were more decent and honest Americans than there were others after Trump's second win, adding he now feels in the minority in his own country. May the force not be with your fucking liberal, no good, subhuman ass. Speaking of liberals, the liberal media this week got hit with a reality check. So hard it sounded like a record scratching. The Department of Justice just scored a major courtroom win after a judge denied Georgia's Fulton County's attempt to reclaim more than 600 boxes of election records seized by the FBI. What would that possibly be part of? The Department of Justice social media team immediately turned into the internet version of the WWE promo announcer. One reporter confidently predicted the Department of Justice would lose, only for the Department of Justice account to respond with, "Wrong again, McFarland. That wasn't illegal filing. That was a digital chair shot. Then another legal analyst got hit with, sorry for your loss, Anna. You know, the folks over at the Midas Touch. At this point, the DOJ communications team is one energy drink away from posting memes with air horns. Meanwhile, somewhere inside a newsroom, a producer is screaming, "Quick, somebody find a constitutional scholar." While another intern is deleting 47 drafted tweets that age like milk in Louisiana summer heat. Judge J.P. Bollea issued a 68-page ruling basically saying that Fulton County didn't prove its rights were violated when the FBI hauled away the boxes. 600 boxes. That's not an investigation anymore. That's an episode of Storage Wars, Election Edition. Yep. Inside this box, we found chain of custody issues, missing ballot images, and the 3 reporters hyperventilating in 2 reusable tote bags. The judge did say the affidavit had troubling and prognomic issues, but also said it didn't cross the legal threshold for callous discard. Translation for normal Americans, the paperwork was messy, but not thrown the whole case out messy. Naturally, Democrats immediately reacted like someone unplugged MSNBC during season finale. Senator John Ossoff called it a sore losers crusade, while Fulton County officials accused the federal government of overreaching. Why? Because you were trying to cheat? And Trump called it all out in 2020? And now it's going to come back to bite you in the ass? And honestly, politicians using the phrase overreach these days is like a raccoon complaining somebody got into the trash first. The funniest part of this all, the same media figures who spent years insisting there was nothing to see there, like CNN, MSNBC, and the Midas Touch, are now furious that someone is checking to see if there's something there. Apparently asking questions about election records is not threatening, like showing up to Thanksgiving dinner wearing a MAGA hat and asking grandma who she voted for. Everybody starts panicking. Somebody cries. One cousin suddenly becomes a constitutional law expert after 2 White Claw drinks. No matter where people stand politically, you have to admit, watching Department of Justice troll reporters in real time after a courtroom victory was not on anyone's 2026 bingo card. At this rate, next week, Department of Justice account is going to post, "Go harder," with the Minions meme attached. It just comes back to bite them in the ass every damn time. We listen to these liberal media pundits, whether it's the major news organizations like CNN or YouTubers like the Midas Touch or many of the other ones out there all over social media. They talk a big game of trying to pump up their liberal base. It's all lies. None of it's true. Nothing they're saying about Trump is true. I just proved to you tonight in just a few videos the same shit they're saying Trump is destroying the country with. They didn't say that when Democrats were in charge. So I want a liberal to tell me that to my face, out in public. Please. What a bunch of sore losers. Everything Trump has done, he's not just done for MAGA. He's doing it for you too. Because your own party that you back wanted it. But because he's doing it, he's the evil orange man. Does it make any sense, does it? No, it doesn't. just one of the many reasons I left the Democrat Party. I'll be honest with you, I was, until the internet came around and I could really do research, I had no idea that I was part of the biggest racist organization on planet Earth, the Democrats, who fought against Abraham Lincoln and freeing the slaves, who assassinated Abraham Lincoln, who fought to keep segregation when they did get freed, who fought to keep them from being able to vote, who founded Planned Parenthood for the sole purpose of killing black babies, who founded the KKK. And of course, the Democrats and liberals like to say, oh, that all switched around and it changed, and Democrats became the party of love and hope for all this, and Republicans became the racists. Well, if that's true, then explain to me why in every major metropolitan city in America, that's where you will find Democrats in charge and black on black crime an epidemic. Black subdivisions living below poverty. Black communities just shunned. Businesses closing down, crime in the streets, black youth gunning each other down. Democrat mayors. They don't give a shit about the African Americans. Never have. And if they did, they would do something. Like, for instance, when America elected a black man, Barack Obama, and he elected a Department of Justice head and FBI head, black people, Eric Holder, for instance. What did they do for the black communities? What? What did they do for the black communities? Nothing. You know why? Because they're fucking racist, bigots. They don't give a shit about black people. Wake up, liberal Democrats. I'm not saying become a Republican. I'm saying leave the fucking party. Do what I did. Now, I did become a Republican till I realized that the Republican Party was just as fucked up as the Democrat Party. They don't give a shit about us. They care about padding their own pockets. They don't hold anybody accountable when they get in office like the Democrats try and do when they're in office. There are people that should be arrested right now that our FBI and Department of Justice and Republican members of Congress are giving a free pass. So I said, I'm done with that shit. And I became an independent. And I'll go on record saying that, look, it doesn't matter. Just leave the fucking Democrat Party. And thankfully, that's starting to spread because many people are. More people are leaving the Democrat Party today than ever in the history of the Democrat Party. And shockingly enough, Republicans have more people joining, becoming a Republican than ever in the history of the Republican Party. Now, what does that mean for midterms? I don't know. I know that history shows us that typically at midterms, we end up with whatever side is in charge of the presidency. The opposite happens, at least with the House, not necessarily the Senate. But it's all going to come down to, is the war in Iraq over with? Or not Iraq, Iran? Are the gas prices coming back down? Just that. Those two things right there. Come midterms, we can go back to what gas prices were before this fucking Straits of Hormuz got shut down. then I don't think they have a chance. But also, history shows us that Republicans typically at midterm don't vote. They just vote for presidential elections. Well, that's dumb, isn't it? So it's very important that Democrats leave the party and Republicans vote. And ask your Democrat friends or neighbors, liberal friends or neighbors, as midterms approach, what are the Democrats standing on? What's their platform? What are they going to do to make things better for the American people that Trump's not already doing? Have you heard a single Democrat in Washington, D.C. tell you what their plan is? No. Their only plan is Trump's evil. Trump's a dictator. Trump's a king. Trump's a racist. Trump hates brown people. That's all you hear. We must defeat Trump. Not what they're going to do to fix anything that they think's fucking broke. That's not. Think about that. What is happening in this country that's so fucking bad that you hate this man so much? And they start, you see it all over social media. The memes, the jokes about, oh, MAGA, how do you feel about gas prices now? It's still less than it was at the peak of the Biden administration. Regular gas in America hasn't hit $5 a gallon yet, but it did during Biden. You got amnesia? You don't remember that? Or you have selected memory? Because all you want to do is trash Republicans, trash Trump. The tariffs? Y'all made it out that the whole America's just going to collapse. Major recession. The dollar will be worth nothing. He's going to ruin our country. Just the opposite happened. Securing our border? Oh my God. Talk about cutting down on crime. Getting rid of all these illegal aliens, especially the criminal ones. That makes him a racist? Well, why didn't it make Bill Clinton a racist? Or Obama a racist? Just Trump. Because you're hypocrites. Period. You don't stand for shit, but anti-Trump. While you're benefiting from what he's doing to help America. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm trying my damnness to figure out how, where, why some of these liberal Democrats think the way they do. But it's reached a point now where it's useless. It's not worth even spending the time trying to figure it out because they're gone. They're lost. They've gone to a place that it's like the Twilight Zone. It's sad. And there's a bunch of them. Oh my God, there's a bunch of them that are just absolutely batshit crazy. Anyway, you had many places you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Again, whether you're watching us on the YouTube channel, the Rumble channel, the X channel, please like, share it with your family and friends. When this show's over with tonight and it goes up in about 5 minutes later as a regular video, please share it on your social media platforms. Tell everybody about the Douglas Ducote Show. Make sure you tell them if they got little ones in the room. Mr. Doug says 1 or 20 bad words every now and then. So keep that in mind when the little ones are around. Whatever you're doing this weekend, please be safe. Have fun, but please be safe. Remember that we have people in this country right now that shouldn't be here, that want to kill you and me. And we've got, thanks to liberal Democrat states, 18-wheelers driving around the interstates with illegal aliens with license that can't even read fucking street signs in English. And more Americans are going to die because of it. I'll be back next week on Tuesday. I hope you will join me. Until then, as always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, and their families. Our angel families, our blue and gold star families in our country. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you back here next week on Tuesday. Have a wonderful and blessed evening and a wonderful and blessed weekend, my friends. Take care. Hello, everyone. Douglas Ducote here. My new book, From Baton Rouge to Baghdad and Back, is available now at Walmart, Amazon, Google, iTunes. Please check it out. I had the opportunity to either write about my 4 combat tours and the horrors of war like everyone else does, or I chose to write about the humorous side of military service. So there are stories about things that I experienced in Operation Desert Storm and Operation Just Cause down in Panama and everything in between. The funny things that I went through and I lived through. The things that require basically a sixth sense of humor to get by. So this is a great gift for anyone that you know that's served in the United States military, as well as those that just like to read things that are funny. My whole purpose was to make you laugh. And if this book, From Baton Rouge to Baghdad and Back, makes you laugh, then it was worth my time and effort in writing it. So please check it out. You can buy the book starting today at Walmart, Amazon, Google, iTunes, and Barnes & Noble. Thank you and God bless.